In a short amount of time, the one thing that I was most concerned about regarding the success of XRP was removed. I am not simply making things up. There has been a significant shift in the regulations governing digital assets as a result of everything that has occurred, and XRP is now in an ideal position to steer the next phase of the financial system. The narrative has evolved in a manner that I don't believe anyone anticipated it would happen. This is essential information for you to be aware of, regardless of whether you currently possess XRP or have been waiting for it. This is not financial guidance in any way. Something like what has recently emerged from the White House is something I have never seen before. It is a great compatibility with the purpose of XRP as well as Ripple's 10-year vision. My concern was about this. What would happen if something new came along and rendered XRP superfluous? Consider the possibility that blockchain technology would only serve as a stopgap solution until lawmakers or governments push through an alternative system that did not make use of digital assets in any way. In my opinion, that would have been the most significant threat to the development of XRP. Having said that, over a period of 48 hours, that fear is no longer existent because the contrary is occurring. As of right now, the most influential members of the government are publicly endorsing the concept that blockchain-based solutions will soon take the place of our outdated and dysfunctional financial system. And not just any blockchain system, rather, those that prioritize immediate payment, liquidity, and adherence to the rules. Both Ripple and XRP were designed from the beginning to function in this manner. Permit me to elaborate on this for you. A considerable number of individuals were taken aback by a statement made by President Trump not too long ago. Quote from Wikipedia, "Many Americans don't know that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. It is a very expensive service, and it may take several days or even weeks for payments and money transfers to be processed. Through the implementation of this strategy, the entire antiquated system can be brought into the 21st century by utilizing the most recent cryptographic technique." Once more, read it. Everyone else, with the exception of that crypto expert, is stating that. This individual does not work for Ripple in any capacity. This is the President of the United States of America providing you with the information that the rails of our banking system will be improved by the utilization of crypto technology. Guys, that is a tremendous deal. For years, many who were opposed to the concept of cryptocurrency being utilized in the banking system of the United States sneered at the idea. In their statement, they stated that the government will put an end to it, be slow to act, and then go on to something else. On the other hand, the exact reverse is happening right now. The government is promoting cryptocurrency as a means of enhancing the overall system in order to maximize its potential. Additionally, as if that weren't enough, Eric Trump made the issue much more compelling. He stood up and made the following statement. "The cryptocurrency industry is by far the industry that is growing the fastest in the world. When you look throughout the world, you will notice that everyone is rushing toward cryptocurrency. The Middle East, Asia, and South America are all places where this is the case. Using our money in this manner is not working out well." Two of the most important topics that they are bringing up are the same ones that Ripple has been working on for the past 10 years. The flow of money and payments is quick. No, not for games, not for non-fungible tokens, and not for meme currencies that are speculative. Sending money across international borders in a way that is quick, inexpensive, and effective is the primary objective of XRP and the XRP ledger. This moment is very significant because of this reason. Mostly due to the fact that I have been told for years, don't worry, something better will finally come along. It has come to our attention, however, that there is no other option that is superior. Blockchains such as XRP, which we currently own, are the lines along which the future will be drawn. The United States of America is compelled to welcome them because the rest of the world has already done so. This is an even more essential point. At this point, it becomes even more intriguing. Taking into consideration the manner in which these comments were compiled, it is almost as if Ripple was the one who penned the dialogue. Could you please read what Trump stated once more? "The payments are expensive, take a long time, and are out of date. We require an update that is suitable for the 21st century, and it will base itself on cryptography," which is precisely what Ripple intends to accomplish. While I believe that Ripple and XRP are not only in a better condition than they have ever been in, I also believe that they are smack in the heart of the discourse. Ripple has spent the past 10 years working to become a part of the system, in contrast to other blockchains that make statements such as "down with the banks" and want to undermine the system. The Federal Reserve was one of the organizations that they spoke with in 2013, and they have collaborated with big banks and governments to ensure that their goods have been compliant from the very beginning. Ripple, along with everyone else, was constructing the fences that surrounded the Wild West territory. The United States of America has recently stated, "We are ready to upgrade." Who has already arrived at the location? Make a swirl. Which individuals already have the relationships? Make a swirl. Which business already has the answer to the liquidity question built in? It's XRP. Because of this, I have always maintained that XRP is entirely distinct from the vast majority of other currency. In the majority of initiatives, there is a good idea, but there is no plan for how to make it function in our everyday lives. Since its inception, XRP has been designed to assist organizations in addressing problems that are encountered in the real world. From this point on, organizations and governments are now coming to the realization that they require the same solution that Ripple has been working on for the entirety of this period. In addition, I would like to bring to your attention one of the most significant aspects that people overlook. The next step is it's not just about technology. It's not merely a matter of who can close the most deals in the shortest sum of time. The question is, who is capable of working with the existing system without making it even more difficult to use? Due to the fact that Ripple was aware of this from the beginning, they have always prioritized compliance. To put it another way, this is the difference between being taken on by major financial institutions and states and being abandoned. When the White House makes the statement that cryptocurrency represents the future of our money, you should be aware that they are not referring to joke coins or tokens that are speculative in nature. In this context, they are discussing ways for instant settlement that are compatible with the infrastructure that is currently in place. XRP, on the other hand, is at the heart of that conversation. With that out of the way, let's continue our discussion on the reasons why XRP is not only essential for the future generation of financial rails, but also cannot be replicated. Because there is still a significant amount of confusion that is being spread about, it is time for me to make it obvious. As a result of the fact that the majority of people who are not part of the XRP community do not comprehend this reality, it is impossible to construct the next generation of the banking system until the issue of liquidity is satisfactorily resolved. Because of this, XRP is about to become quite significant. David Schwartz, the Chief Technology Officer of Ripple, has been quite explicit about this for years. Persons like Bob Way, who was one of the first persons to work on Ripple, have stated numerous times that XRP is not merely an additional component of the cryptocurrency. XRP is the primary component that ensures the XRP system functions in the manner that was intended for it to. It is impossible to connect all of these different currencies and investments without XRP, since there is no other mechanism to do so. Think about it from this perspective. In a new financial system that did not include a general bridge asset, there would be a requirement for liquidity pools to be established for each and every potential pair. There is the possibility of exchanging gold for silver, silver for dollars, dollars for yuan, and Tesla shares for dollar. After that, you will be able to convert silver into dollars, American dollars into yuan, and Tesla stock. This is something that would need to be done over and over again for each and every object in the planet. That is not something that can be constructed. This cannot be scaled up. View the XRP model that is located next to it. If everything could simply be paired against XRP, then there would be no need for hundreds of different trading pools to be established. The only bridge that you require is the one that goes through XRP. It is for this reason that XRP is not a choice, but rather an integral component of the system. It ensures that all assets are entirely interoperable with one another and makes it possible for money to move freely between one asset and another. That is precisely what is wrong with the way that money is handled at the moment. It takes days to wire because of this reason. As a result, the costs continue to accumulate. It is for this reason that trillions of dollars are held in accounts known as Nostro and Vostro all across the world, solely to make it feasible for people to move money. It was something that Ripple anticipated would happen 10 years ago, and in order to remedy the situation, they created XRP as the global settlement asset. People who claim things like, well, you don't need XRP for the XRP ledger to work, are absolutely missing the point because of precisely this reason. Despite the fact that you are able to run the trains without it, the world will continue to be fragmented in the same manner that it has been for decades. The use of XRP is what enables the system to function on a massive scale. So let's speak about how to get success. In this particular domain, individuals have a strong desire to alter the narrative. The fact that XRP has not performed as well as Bitcoin is expected to be one of the primary topics of discussion among Bitcoin aficionados. It seems as though they believe that it will put an end to the idea. However, when you take a look at the numbers, you will notice that the opposite is true. The long-term chart for XRP versus BTC should be open. The majority of people will be taken aback by what you will see. Over the course of almost the entire existence of XRP, it has consistently maintained a higher value than Bitcoin. Not at all what I mean when I say that windows are small. This occurred over extended periods of time when XRP performed significantly better than Bitcoin. When XRP went on one of its enormous steep runs, specifically when it went up by 10,000% or even 50,000% and then dropped back down, Bitcoin was the only cryptocurrency that performed better. It is true that the shape of the chart is altered as a result of that volatility. When those jumps were not occurring, XRP was the investment that was the better hold. The concept that XRP is a dead coin is not only erroneous, but it is also perplexing because of this very reason. XRP was once considered to be one of the most valuable cryptocurrencies available at the time. It is not difficult to comprehend the rationale. It is not enough to only speculate about it. You can actually accept it. Right now, things are starting to get a lot more intriguing. When you take a look at what is happening in other parts of the world, you will notice that central banks, financial companies, and now the government of the United States are all considering the same use case. The purpose of Ripple's creation of XRP was not to store value like Bitcoin does or to deal with high gas fees and traffic like Ethereum does. Rather, it was to facilitate settlement and liquidity. Instead, XRP was designed to facilitate settlements that are compliant, scalable, and quick. Because of this, I do not believe that XRP will simply continue to exist. The vast majority of people are unable to even conceive of the ways in which it will be successful. Now, let us look back at this topic once again. You were there for the meeting between Ripple and the Federal Reserve in 2013. Ripple already collaborates with a significant number of banks all around the world because of this reason. It is for this reason that Ripple was present when the United States eventually announced, "We are ready to upgrade." Over a decade and a half have passed since they began preparing for this particular occasion. There are still a lot of people in the cryptocurrency business who do not understand this. The question of who has the most advanced technology is less relevant than the question of who can get their technology employed. When it comes to adoption at the institutional and government level, trust, compliance, and relationships that have been demonstrated to be successful are required. One can find each of these on Ripple. As a result of the White House's support for the implementation of blockchain technology to enhance the banking system, there is now a clear way forward. But there is a catch to this. Ripple is far more than just a corporation in this regard. It is intended that the digital asset known as XRP will serve as the connection that connects everything. For this reason, I believe that the situation for individuals who own XRP will be substantially different over the course of the next few years. This is due to the fact that skeptics continue to assert that XRP is not required, despite the fact that exactly the contrary is true.